and I was introduced to the queen of whatever the hive was. And she was big, and I was a little bit overwhelmed at the start. I was like, okay, you got a queen bee here. And she started talking to me about how they would like humanity to respect and honour them as not just as worker bees and producing wax and honey and, feeding the planet, but to actually appreciate what they actually do. And they said that that's the most important thing that they really would like us to do is humanity, because we're pretty, take everything for granted. And she was just saying, like, humanity really needs to step up and needs to start appreciating not just them, but everything that humanity consumes. And without them, there would be no us.
Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Awaken podcast. I'm your host Alison.
And I'm your host Jason. Welcome back.
And today we are going to be talking about the bee beans and how magical their energy is.
So the journey started with we needed some painting gigs because you got to pay the bills, don't you? So we put some flyers out in a area, and Alison's like, "Oh, I've got a good feeling about this house." So we put it out, and it happened to be a massage therapist. G'day Lee, if you're listening, fantastic guy, very gifted massage therapist. And I was quoting his kitchen. And because he rang up, he liked the flyer and all that sort of stuff, so he rang me up and I went there and had a look at to do a quote for him. And it was painting a kitchen plus some other stuff that needed to be done. And we were just talking, and he was just really easy to talk to, and talking about conspiracy theories and talking about all that sort of stuff and putting my 2 cents in. And then within, I don't know, the following week I started painting the kitchen. We were just talking. He's a great talker, and he was crazy busy with clients. Crazy, never seen somebody so bloody busy. And we're just talking about candles, because I don't even know how we got started on the candle thing.
I think you said to me that his daughter makes candles.
Oh, that's right, yeah. She works for a business and she makes candles, and I love candles and all that sort of jazz. So we gave him actual candle for a gift. But I didn't know he was a beekeeper. So he said, "Oh, I've actually got bees. I'm a beekeeper too." And I went, "Wow, okay." So next thing you know, he's like, "Oh, I've got to look after the girls today." So next, I'm painting away and listening to YouTube, and he's getting dressed up in his special beekeeper gear, getting his little smoker ready. And he goes, "Oh, if you want to, go into the bathroom and you can watch me what I do with the bees." And there was bees everywhere. He upset a lot of them because he said, like, it's like you're breaking into their home. They're all cozy and they're all doing their thing, as bees do, and that upsets them. So I'm like, okay. So I was watching from the bathroom window, and actually did a little video on it as well.
Yeah, you did.
He loved it. I think he loved having somebody watching, because he started doing a little dance in his... I said, "Oh, let's do a photo of you and I could put it on Facebook," stuff like that. So I was having lunch outside. There were just bees everywhere. And I love bees, but when there's a lot of bees, I get a little bit concerned.
Yeah, I do too.
And he just said, "It's okay, they're fine. They're not going to go near you. They're just going to, just do their thing and just have a look around, and because I've upset them." And I'm, "Oh, okay." And they're like coming near my lunch and stuff like that. But they didn't come near me. And next thing he goes, "These are special girls. I love my girls." I'm thinking, girls? I didn't know that they were all females.
No, not until we did some research. So we did the research, and we know that there's a queen.
Yeah.
And we know that they're worker bees.
Yes.
But we didn't know that the worker bees were actually all female. But then I also discovered that there are male bees as well, which are called the drones.
Yeah.
And the drones don't really do anything else except for mate with a queen. They can't mate with their own queen. They have to mate with another queen. And that's pretty much all the drones do. They eat and mate. And then once winter comes, that's it. They are done. They are done from the hive. They get booted out.
And we didn't know as well that bees, their food source is honey.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
No.
So they make honey, they get the pollen and everything from, the flowers and everything, and then they come back and they make this beautiful, amazing honey, and that's their food source as well.
Yeah, so they make honey and they eat honey at the same time. I know, right? I know.
The golden elixir of life.
It's just amazing. I love bees.
Yeah, and I was telling Alison, because she was on the phone to me, and then she was talking to him on the phone as well about the bees, and she was like losing her mind about these bees. And then he comes out from his shed, his massive shed, because he's a car fanatic as well, and he brings out this beautiful honey. He goes, "Here you go, it's part of my stash," because he was selling a lot of it in the past, but because things have shifted a lot with the climate and everything like that, there wasn't as much honey produced, so he always keeps a little stash. So he gave me one of his jars. I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I just really appreciate that." Alison's going to be screaming like a school kid.
I was.
And then he came out with a bar of wax, because he said, Alison could make some beeswax candles from this. And I got to tell you, we've made beeswax candles, because we're candlestick makers as well, alchemy candles. And Alison's made some beeswax candles. But the colour of that compared to the colour that he had was completely different. Like his was like a gold bar.
Yeah, like when you brought it home, because I remember you sending me a photo and I didn't read the message properly. I thought it was like, "Oh, look what Lee showed me," and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." But then I read the message properly, and then it said something like, "Look what I have for you," and I lost my mind, literally lost my mind. I'm thinking, I've got some beeswax. I've got some gold beeswax here. And then when you brought it home, we were joking about how it literally looked like a gold bar.
Yeah, I was like, we got a gold bar here.
Yeah, it was amazing. I literally, yeah, I've still lost my mind even to this day.
Yeah. So Alison did you start to melt it and work with it?
No, I first actually started to tune into the beeswax because I still had some of the beeswax from the previous when I bought
Which
it
you brought
online.
online.
I bought that online, and that one was a lighter color. It was still a little bit yellow. It wasn't completely white, but it was a lighter color than the one that you got from Lee, and it smelled more like honey. Where Lee's doesn't smell exactly like honey. It's a very earthy smell, and so what I decided to do was, because I couldn't wait to make beeswax candles, so we decided that I was going to do a tune-in into both waxes, because they were both completely different. And I wanted to explain to them that I just want to use their beeswax. I wanted to honour the bees and explain to them I want to use their beeswax to make some candles to share the light with other people. And it was really interesting what we discovered. So the beeswax that I bought online, when I tuned in, I got that these bees, I literally saw like shackles on these bees. And they were telling me that they felt like slaves because, and I could feel this energy of always having to reproduce or produce, like constant, just so that they could, like, I mean, we all know that bees are workers. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But the energy of this particular bee group felt like they were slaves and that they weren't appreciated. And then I just thanked them and I said, "No, you are sovereign beings, and I do appreciate you, and we should all start appreciating beings." And I told them, all I want to do is with the wax that I have from you is to create a beautiful candle. And they were happy with that because...
You sent a lot of love and a lot of healing.
I did.
I remember, because we did it over a couple of hours.
Yeah.
There was a lot of healing that you did with the wax and the bees that produced that wax for wherever they were. And a lot of love, just an appreciation. And they really liked that a lot.
Yeah, they did. I mean, because I couldn't exactly free them, but I could send them love and appreciation for the wax that they produced.
And the honey and everything they produce and all the work they do. And
I also did a clearing on the wax of people that had a handle in the wax as well. So just clear that energy.
Which we do with all our waxes, soy
Yeah.
wax we use. We always do a lot of work in clearing and
Yeah.
love intention, so the wax is even better or more vibrant with
Yeah.
frequency, light.
Yeah, because it's not just about the it's not just about the where it comes from. It's about everyone else who has a handle in it as well. So you're clearing all that energy too. And then we tuned into the wax that Lee gave us, and that was a completely different energy. It was more, there was more love, there was more vibrancy, because it wasn't like a farm produced kind of wax. It was so much different. And Jayson, I tuned in, and I had trouble with my words because for some reason when I was trying to explain exactly what I was doing, I couldn't actually explain properly. So instead of explaining with my words, I just showed them with my heart, and I just like the glow, this golden glow from my heart, and then they finally understood what I was talking about. And then you tuned in as well.
Yeah, so you gave me the Lee's wax, and I thought I'll have a tune in to see what's going on there too. So I tuned in, and I was introduced to the queen of whatever the hive was. And she was big, and I was a little bit overwhelmed at the start. I was like, okay, you got the queen bee here. And she started talking to me about how they would like humanity to respect and honour them as not just as worker bees and producing wax and honey and, feeding the planet, but to actually appreciate what they actually do. And they said that that's the most important thing that they really would like us to do is humanity, because we're pretty, take everything for granted. And she was just saying, like, humanity really needs to step up and needs to start appreciating not just them, but everything that humanity consumes. And without them, there would be no us.
Yeah, there'd be no reality, pretty much.
Yeah, be
No food,
no nothing. And she said, you all need to have another look at yourselves with us, because I can't remember everything. There was a lot, and I didn't get a chance to write down because I was deep in this trance state. But the gist is, from what I was getting from her, and her energy was beautiful, and it was a high frequency. It was very clean. She was also quite neutral as well, but yet concerned with what's going on for humanity, and forests being ripped down, and all that jazz. So the thing I took away from it was really start to appreciate them a lot more and honour what they produce and what they give us, because it's been around for thousands of years, honey and bees.
Yeah.
Of course. And it's such a healing tool. You can put it on your cuts, and it's antibacteria.
It's just absolutely beautiful.
It's really beautiful. And it is gold elixir.
It is. And I do remember asking you how I know them, because I feel this connection with bees. And I think you said that the Queen said something like, yes, they know me because I've helped them with some.
I remember that.
With some I helped them with something. I can't remember what, but I was helping the bees on a different level. And they said that the queen bee said I didn't know that I was helping them on a different level, but I wanted to know why I had such a big heart connection with the bees. So and then I did some research of my own, doing some, because I journal when I have stuff going on in my life, and I was journaling, and then I started asking. Got onto the topic of the golden energy and the golden ray, and then all of a sudden I went on to bees, and bees producing golden honey and golden wax. And then I thought, well, are these bees, is the bee energy and the bee being, are they golden? And the golden energy is like the 12th dimension. It's like, well, are they 12th dimensional beings? Because they all work in unity. They all work together to make sure that everything works in harmony. And then I was going on to the part, I started researching into that, and that was part of the Christ consciousness, because he was all about humanity not being the savior. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. Like, is this all tied together? I just went on this tangent as thinking, this is incredible.
It's all linked.
Yeah, like I was blown away. So just the beautiful bee energy just blows me away. And every time I walk and I see a bee and I'm like, hello, my friend. And, then I go on my merry way and leave them to do what they need to do.
And when we have the honey from Lee, we had some actually just before.
Yeah, we did.
We really honour it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's such a delicious, good for you elixir. It's phenomenal. So
yeah.
And then the wax that you've been using for candles are just extraordinary.
Yeah, absolutely. Like both of them, because I use both. So even the one that I got online, absolutely beautiful energy. Now that I gave them appreciation and some healing and I sent them love.
Yeah, but if we continue to make beeswax candles, we like to source them from a better place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which we did try. I did try to buy some off him, but I
Yeah.
think he's a bit like, oh, nah, I don't know. Didn't say that, but he was just like, I think it's so precious,
Yeah,
and there's so much work that goes into it. He's shown me what goes into it. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah, and we did some research. I didn't realise how much work goes into just doing like the rendering and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy amount.
Being a beekeeper is massive.
Yeah, I would love to be a beekeeper. The only suggestion if you're a beekeeper, try talking to the bees instead of smoking them. Maybe carry the smoke with you, but we both, Jayson and I, believe that if we had a beehive and we spoke to the bees and said, look, we're just coming in just to check to make sure that everything's okay with you guys, we're not here to harm you, they probably won't get so upset.
Yeah, that's what's coming to mind. Lee was saying with the honey, he said you never take too much, you just take the excess.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't be greedy.
Yeah.
And you just take what is needed. You don't take any more because that's their food.
Yeah, because if you take all their food...
Exactly, you're going to die.
Yeah.
And then you've got the vicious cycle again.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. And we both just wanted to share our story with the bee beans.
Yeah, and to meet somebody that has, a beehive and, loves them and calls them his girls. And I don't know, it was lovely to hear and see the love, and the bees were happy. And
yeah. Oh, yeah, completely different to the other wax.
Yeah.
Completely different. So any bee beans out there, absolutely love you.
We are sending you lots of love, lots of healing, lots of blessings, and we do appreciate you ladies.
Yes. And the men, because without you guys.
Oh, but okay, let's just say we appreciate the bee tribe.
Yeah,
bee
absolutely.
family.
The bee tribe, yeah. Yeah, so that's all. Is that all we have to...
Pretty much, yeah. We just want to share a little bee story because we're just finding out. We didn't know that's what was going on.
No. So everyone, all bee makers or beeswax candle makers, if you get a chance, tune into your wax and see what the bees have to tell you. And
give it some love and appreciation.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is just give it a little love and appreciation, and it will go a long way.
Yes, it will. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, cool. All right, everyone, we're going to head off. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for listening once again. We do appreciate you.
And we love you all so very much.
Love you, love you, love you.
And until the next time, everyone, see you later.
Love and blessings.
Bye.
Bye.